celebrating diversity, resilience, and incredible achievements of those who keeps on inspiring us every day. Now, to kick off this momentous event, may I please invite Ms. Rashmi Patil, a distinguished Bharatanatyam dancer who will perform invocation dance for us. Despite of her hearing impairment, Rashmi transcends boundaries. Rashmi, please join us on the stage and inaugurate Greenex Talks 2023.
Yeah, it was awesome. Great. Okay, yeah, my laptop. Yeah.
Secure desktop. Windows visually -VX.
गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
गानचतुराय गानप्राणाय गानान्तरात्मने गानोत्सुकाय गानमत्ताय गानोत्सुकमनसे गुरुपूजिताय गुरुदैवताय गुरुकुलस्थायिने गुरुविक्रमाय गुह्यप्रवराय गुरवे गुणगुरवे गुरुदैत्यकलक्षेत्रे गुरुधर्मसदाराध्याय गुरुपुत्रपरित्रात्रे गुरुपाखण्डखण्डकाय गीतसाराय गीततत्त्वाय गीतगोत्राय धीमहि गूढगुल्फाय गन्धमत्ताय गोजयप्रदाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय
Thank you, Rashmi. It was a splendid dance performance from you. Now, as we have all gathered here today, I would like to invite, and it's my pleasure to invite, Mr. Sudipta Bhattacharya, who will set the context for the GreenX Talks 2023. Mr. Sudipta, please join us on the stage and share the importance of International Day for the Persons with Disabilities. Please, sir, come on the stage.
Thank you very much, Vaishali, and thank you, Rashmi. I've often been on this stage, and we talk about growth, we talk about our philosophy, we talk about our culture. Today is it's hard for me to say whether we call it a day for celebration, do we call it a day of respect, do we call it a day that our chairman shows us the path forward of what we want to be as a company. Vaishali is somebody that we hired a few months back. And all of us who interviewed Vaishali went through this experience of what does it mean to be able to talk to somebody who could see but then lost her eyesight as she grew in age. Rashmi, who you saw today, to be able to perform a dance when you cannot hear, her mother was sitting in front, here if somebody have noticed, and was giving her indications. To be able to even visualize how, or to be able to understand, visualize is perhaps a wrong word for me to use in today's context. To be able to get an understanding of what people that are differently abled undergo is perhaps something that on one hand we remember and we feel guilty that we don't do enough. On the other hand, we hesitate to talk about it because it does come across as condescending at times. So we have to go through this difficult journey of how do we actually help the differently abled people be a part of the journey that we take, that we call our growth with goodness. And so let me just set some context by talking about how did this journey start for us. December of 2021, 23rd December 2021 is when Gautam Bhai spoke at the Thai Summit. And the Thai Summit was about sustainability. But sustainability, the way we have come to define everything related to green. I remember that evening, we had about 42,000 registrations for the Thai Summit. It was a huge success. But that evening when I was talking to our chairman, he said something that I will remember. And he says, sustainability for us needs to mean more than just green. Sustainability for us should be extended. It should really mean something much more. And in this much more is included what Adani Foundation does. So we got to be able to think about expanding what it means. And that really was the genesis of this idea that we got to do more. And therefore, GreenX came about. Standing here and taking credit is the easy part for me to get up on stage and talk about all these things that we do. But you need people that can actually make it happen. Srini from our team here, I'd been trying to hire him for a long time. He had refused to come. He was happy where he was. But inherently, I knew that he was passionate about this subject. And I called him and said, Srini, would you want to come and work with us? Srini is from IIT, IIM. He was doing a great job. I said, would you come and want to help us initiate this? And that's how we got Srini on board. Large part of the credit to do this GreenX Talks goes to him. Navruti, who's been here for a long time, she was passionate about it. She has lived through it. She knows what it means. She has experienced it from her family. So she was the other person who wanted to be a part of this. And the fact today that we are at 27 people that we have hired over the last year and a half, huge credit to her. When I spoke to Pankti Ben, and we'll talk a little bit about the program that she's running this year, fascinating to hear about what they do in terms of the dedication, the effort, the inspiration they drive amongst their teams when they talk. These are exceptional stories that we have, both of the ones that we give, but also the ones, those are the givers. And when you combine them, magic happens. And that's the magic that we see going on today. Last year was when we first saw the power of what this extension in Green Talks really meant. We had Kiran, who's India's first Blade Runner, and we had Arunima, who scaled every single mountain that is to be scaled. Both of them were missing a leg. Their determination, their ability was an inspiration. And since that time, we have gone about and hired a lot of people, and we have had learnings. Not all the learnings have been uniformly good. But one learning is that every single person, every single leader at Adani wants to do it. Without fail, everyone that we have spoken to, in whose teams these different people that we have hired, they have all said, yes, we want to do it. This is the spirit that we should collectively be proud of. This is the spirit that we should collectively celebrate. This is the spirit that should keep us going, because it epitomizes better than anything else what we call growth with goodness. So what is really pleasing now is, in my discussions with Gautam Bhai and Preeti Ben, and he's often spoken about this at the Apex, we want to do more. And what does doing more really mean? It means having the second generation come in and say, we will take ownership of this program because this program means something which we will stand for decades to come. Jeet, his soon-to-be bride Diva, Paridhi, and all the second gen, from what I hear and when I talk to them, show that extreme commitment to be able to follow through with this program. And nothing could be better than that as they take over this program. So before I invite Jeet on stage to deliver the keynote, I must thank him and Diva for having called me and said that we have to do more. I must thank Paridhi because she has oftentimes spoken about this and said, how do we take this forward? This is something we got to do. Besides the support that we always get from Gautam Bhai and Preeti Ben, this other support means a lot, because that's where we understand what the family stands for. So what we are going to see now, before Jeet comes on stage, is a short video of something that is going to be executed tomorrow. It is in Bhuj, and it's how Adani, not just Adani by itself, but we collectively have galvanized a lot of different companies in and around Bhuj to be able to come and work with us to hire people that are differently abled. Our challenge will be, how do we expand this movement, not for taking credit, but because it is the right thing to do for all of us. And that karma will stand us in good stead for decades to come. When you see this video, please do not judge the video for its finish. We kept it unfinished. We kept it raw because the people who shot it are not professionals, but they do their job with their hearts. They put their soul into it. And so it's a 4-minute video. Bear with us while we go through this video. After that, we will have Jeet come over. I've had the privilege of many a time inviting our chairman on stage to talk to us. I have never had the privilege of inviting a Generation 2 to come and talk to us. So with that, I will walk off the stage. Please see the video, and then Jeet, we will have you up on stage. Thank you.
ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। आती है आंधियाँ तो कर उनको खैर शक्तियों से जब साथ है हमारे, वो सर्व शक्तियों से जब साथ है हमारे, हर काम उसके रहते हरगिज़ हुआ पड़ा है। कभी हारना ना, हिम्मत का कदम बढ़ाओ। कभी हारना ना, हिम्मत का कदम बढ़ाओ। हजारों कदम बढ़ाने वो सामने खड़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है।
After this invite Mr. Don. Hit the mobile drum.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues, good morning, everyone. Today, on World Disability Day, I am honored to speak before this distinguished gathering. Inspired by the values instilled in me by our chairman, my father, and my late grandmother. From a young age, I had learnt about our duty to society and the fulfillment that comes from helping others. A year ago, our chairman initiated the Green X Talks, a reflection of his personal commitment to giving back. And it gives me great pleasure that today I stand here entrusted with carrying forward this legacy, driven by his strong belief in the power of making a positive impact. And I ask for your support. Green X, like Sudipta said, symbolizes the vast potential with differently abled individuals. The green represents a world filled with life, symbolizing growth, hope, and endless possibilities. The X signifies mystery, evolving into a potent symbol of extraordinary talents, waiting for acknowledgement and cultivation. It represents the resilience of the human spirit, the determination to overcome challenges, and the strength to carve paths through adversity. At its core, Green X advocates for empowerment, inclusivity, considering each person, regardless of their physical or mental ability, as an integral part of our organization. This initiative urges us to recognize and nurture the abilities of differently abled individuals, transforming the X from a sign of limitation to one of amplified strength and endurance. And some of our guests that we have here today embody this very spirit, such as Shiv Shankar Kumar, who excelled in the National Math Olympiad, Arvind Kumar Mukhia, the winner of a science quiz, and Ashok Kumar Parmar, a gold medalist at the National Powerlifting Championship. The pinnacle of our mission is the Green X Talks, a series of dialogues uniting individual experiences and collective progress. I refrain from sharing statistics because I feel that, every person is unique and not just a mere number. What we need, though, are platforms like these to bring the voices out of obscurity, turning them into stories of inspiration, sharing wisdom, and fostering connectivity. These dialogues are the force behind spreading the Green X message, sparking a movement of positive change. As the wave of Green X goes, we measure our success by the blossoming of capabilities, redefining disability into distinct ability. Each X signifies a new dimension in human accomplishment. Green X needs to become a symbol of sustainable and inclusive future, where vitality signifies unity and the horizon of human skill is limitless. This vision, initiated by my father, supported by my mother, must now be the torch that we as the next generation of the family and the organization needs to carry forward. It's not just a vision to uphold, but a mission to live. The collective dream woven into the fabric of our shared existence as the Adani Group. And this is where, friends, I seek your support to usher in an era where the blend of abilities creates a richer tapestry of hope and unity. In our commitment to growth with goodness, on behalf of the Adani family, I humbly ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jeet Adani. Your address has been truly inspiring, especially your profound perspective on defining disability as distinct ability. Thank you. Now, may I take this opportunity to invite our first speaker, Mr. Nipun Malhotra, a beacon of empowerment who defied all odds to secure education and is now leading Nipman Foundation advocating for disability rights, besides being World Economic Forum Global Shipper. Mr. Nipun, please grace us with your inspiring journey.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really an honor to be here at the GreenX Talks. And since the theme of these talks is really making the impossible possible, I thought what better than to share my own life story and take you through the journey of my life over the last 36 years to show you how I've tried to make the impossible possible. I was born on 1st September 1987. And when I was taken out of my mother's womb, my arms and legs were fully fractured and I was bleeding. My mother, of course, took me to a wide variety of doctors trying to take out a prognosis of what condition I was really born with. You must all remember that India's first Disability Act came up in 1995. And in 87, disability was not even legally recognized in India when I was born. Doctors did not really know how to react to a child like me being born. And a lot of them came up with various gloom and doom prognoses regarding my own life. There was one doctor who told my parents that Nipun is going to live the life equivalent of a wooden doll. Another said, इसकी गर्दन सीधी है इसलिए इसको जीना चाहिए बट कुछ उम्मीद मत रखना. To a wide variety of other prognoses which really amounted to nothing. My parents were of course hoping for a miracle, and the first 3 or 4 years of my life were filled with going to various doctors, godmen and various other conmen hoping कि कोई ना कोई solution आ जाएगा और हमारा बेटा चलने लग जाएगा. You can see this photo of me here standing. This is the only photo that I have where I am standing. And you might notice a smile on my face, but this is actually not a smile, but a grimace of pain. Because what really happened is there was this one doctor in the hope कि कुछ मेरे को commission मिल जाएगी, basically tied me up to a stand and made me stand. And I think this was really the turning point in my life, because it was after this point that my mother decided that it's enough of hoping for these fake miracles, but let's judge Nipun for his abilities and not his disabilities and give him a completely normal life. The first step after this was sending me to a school. As I mentioned, disability was not legally recognized in India then. The first act came up in 1995, and then Modi ji's government in 2016 replaced it with an even stronger act. This was 92 when I was going to school, and there was no legal obligation on schools to have a child with a disability. A lot of people told my mother कि इसको आप home school क्यों नहीं कर देते, या कोई special school क्यों नहीं भेज देता for people with disabilities. But what she felt was that eventually Nipun really has to face the normal challenges in life. So why protect him by sending him to a so-called special school? And she went to dozens of schools that rejected me before there was this one school that finally accepted me. The slide here has is an excerpt from a comic I've written on my school life, where I've basically gone to a birthday party and everybody else has really distanced themselves from me and started celebrating together. And that really was my school life. Teachers at that time were not really trained on how to interact with a student. Students as well did not know how to interact with a child with a disability, and thus I was completely socially ostracized. Most teachers used to treat me either with sympathy or completely ignore my existence. And that was of course terrible in that sense. I was not made to go for picnics. I was not made to participate in extracurricular activities, etc. But I thought, why not convert that disadvantage into an advantage? क्योंकि जब बाकी बच्चे क्रिकेट खेल रहे होते थे मेरे पास टाइम होता था कि मैं एक्स्ट्रा पढ़ाई कर लूँ. And I soon started topping school and doing very well academically. And that of course taught me incentives for the first time in my life as well. Because वो लैंडलाइन का ईरा था, there were no mobile phones of course. And एग्जाम के एक दिन पहले सब स्टूडेंट को पता होता था अगर हम निपुण को फ़ोन करेंगे हमारी डाउट सॉल्व हो जाएगी. बट मैं अपने पेरेंट्स को एक लिस्ट दे देता था ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स ऑफ हु वर नाइस टू मी थ्रू आउट द ईयर. एंड अगर उनमें से किसी का फ़ोन आए तो शायद फ़ोन मुझे मिल जाता था. बाकी सबके लिए मेरे पेरेंट्स उन स्टूडेंट्स को बोल देते थे कि नहीं नहीं निपुण इज बिजी, ही कैन नॉट टॉक राइट नाउ. एंड दैट्स हाउ आई रियली लर्नड इंसेंटिव सिस्टम्स दैट रियली हेल्प्ड मी लेटर इन लाइफ. But that did not mean that I did not participate in extracurricular activities. I tried making the most of every opportunity I got. For example, our school also had a huge auditorium, much like this auditorium. And every year there used to be an annual theatre production where every student really wanted to participate. And I used to land up for auditions every year hoping for some role or the other. The teacher used to scratch her head and say that Nipun, हमारे पास तो आपके लिए कोई रोल है नहीं. बट अगर मैं क्योंकि मैं हर साल पहुंच जाता था, वन ईयर शी टोल्ड मी, निपुण आई फाउंड अ परफेक्ट रोल फॉर यू. यू गोइंग टू बी ऑन स्टेज थ्रू आउट द प्ले, मोर देन द लीड एक्टर, मोर देन द लीड एक्ट्रेस. I was very happy and excited. What she had done is that she decided to make me a tree on the set of the play because she thought that मैं static तो बैठ ही सकता हूँ, तो why not make Nipun a tree? But I think this was a turning point in my life because I started getting a lot more opportunities after that. I started acting like an old man in a lot of plays. After all, on a wheelchair, having and putting white hair ka powder, etc., you can really fit into that role very well. I started participating as a master of ceremonies in sports days, etc., as well. And in class 10th, I ended up topping my school, scoring 87%. I remember after that a journalist came to my school and interviewed me. And she asked me a question जिसका और मेरे को क्वेश्चन तो आज तक नहीं समझ आया, but I'll repeat the question she asked me. She said, निपुण आप डिसेबल्ड हो, आपको कैसे लगता है? एंड तब मैंने जो आंसर दिया था, आई थिंक वो इतना मचोर आंसर तो मैं आज भी नहीं दे पाऊंगा. बिकॉज व्हाट आई टोल्ड हर इज दैट तकलीफ तो सबकी होती है, फर्क सिर्फ यही है मेरी दिखती है और दूसरों की दिखती नहीं है. In class 12th, I was the country topper in business studies. I scored 98 marks and I decided to apply to Delhi University. But what I realized is that most colleges in Delhi University were not really accessible to people with disabilities. And it was the first time in my life that I took a shortcut where I went to this private college for a BBA. But I realized 1 year into that college that I don't want to study for a scrap of paper. And I reapplied to Delhi University. And I wanted to study at St. Stephen's College. I'm sure all of you have heard of it. It's one of India's best colleges. It's had many journalists, industrialists, members of parliament, etc. And at my interview at St. Stephen's, the principal actually told me that, Nipun, I love your CV, but the economics classroom has been on the first floor for 125 years. And we cannot shift it down for one person. Are you ready to go up one floor every day? I said yes, and for 4 days, I was actually lifted up to the first floor every day. But seeing my persistence, the college automatically shifted the economics classroom down. And I think that's when I realized that real change really comes from persistence. And I think if there's one message I can take, I would like you all to take back from here, is that if you really want to achieve anything in life, if you're persistent, you can do it. At St. Stephen's, I then founded the Enabling Committee and the Equal Opportunity Cell. And today St. Stephen's is one of the most accessible colleges in the country, with ramps for wheelchair users, with various softwares for the blind, etc., with proper systems for scribes, writers, etc. And the journey really started from there. After St. Stephen's, I went to Delhi School of Economics and I did my master's in economics at Delhi School of Economics. And it was in my second year at Delhi School of Economics that I sat for placements. And when I sat for placements, I saw the discrimination that people with disabilities face firsthand. Because kya hota tha is that whenever I used to enter any interview, it was not Nipun Malhotra that people looked at, the person who had gone to the best colleges in the country, who had the best extracurricular activities, etc. But just the wheelchair user. मेरी wheelchair user की identity बाकी identities को take over कर लेती थी. And I faced a wide variety of humiliating experiences, including this one company that actually wanted to test whether I can sit on my wheelchair for 8 hours a day. And actually I had to tell them कि आप शायद 8 घंटे एक जगह पे ना बैठ पाओ, पर मेरे को तो पूरी training है because मैं जिंदगी भर एक ही कुर्सी में बैठा हूँ. To another company who said that, have you ever read a book? To a third that actually wanted a letter from the principal saying that Nipun is not faking his degrees in that sense. These were a wide variety of humiliating experiences, and I realized that I have certain privileges which others don't, that my parents have given me a completely normal life. So I joined my father's business, which was into auto components, but I also started the Independent Foundation in 2012 that started working on inclusion of people with disabilities in the private sector. You know, over the last 2 days, I have spent a wonderful time at Adani Group, and I've seen the enthusiasm and the zeal that persons with disabilities have here who are working here. And it's kudos to the top leadership here that is creating genuine change by building ramps, infrastructure, etc. But what I realized at that time in 2012 is that a lot of companies were not like what Adani Group is doing today, but companies were not even aware that persons with disabilities, hiring persons with disabilities is not just CSR, but there's a business case for it. And I started going to a wide variety of companies, conducting accessibility audits, doing sensitization workshops, helping companies identify roles for people with disabilities, etc. And that was really what the focus of Independent Foundation was for the first 3 years after it was set up. And this in fact is a glimpse of the kind of work that the foundation does. We also set up this award with Microsoft where we started recognizing companies that employ people with disabilities, leading parliamentarians, members of Niti Aayog, actors, actresses, etc. started coming on this platform and speaking about disability and inclusion. But a turning point in my life again came in 2015 when I was entering this restaurant in Delhi, but the restaurant manager said that as a policy, हम persons with disabilities को अंदर allow नहीं कर सकते. And I tried arguing with him, but he said, नहीं हमारा माहौल खराब हो जाएगा. And when I tried taking my wheelchair inside, he actually held my wheelchair and dragged it out. And for a person with a disability, a wheelchair is as much as part of the personal space of the body as any body part is for any other person. So without thinking much, I sent out a tweet about this incident. And before I knew it, this particular incident started trending on Twitter, news channels were at my doorstep, etc. And a lot of people started coming to me saying that ऐसे humiliations हमारी life में भी हुए हैं. Thank you. बस फर्क यही है कि आपने इस चीज़ के बारे में बात की और हम बात नहीं कर पाते. I realized that some kind of institutional change is needed. And I decided to work with Zomato to add wheelchair access filters to restaurants. So today if you go to the Zomato app, you can identify which restaurants are accessible and which are not accessible. इससे 2 objective मेरे पूरे हो गए. एक, of course, you know which restaurants are accessible and you can enter them easily. But secondly, this also, you know, since Zomato is a power broker in terms of restaurants, and restaurants are scared of apps like Zomato, which can influence their destiny. When an app like Zomato starts asking whether you're accessible to a person with a disability or not, restaurants themselves also start changing their attitudes towards persons with disabilities. And I also think this was really the start of a revolution, because after Zomato, now Book My Show, Insider.in, PVR, and various other aggregators and consumer websites have started having wheelchair access filters. But it all started with this. So things have to start somewhere, and धीरे धीरे change आ जाता है. After that, I started working on a wide variety of social issues with the government. For example, one of the biggest challenges people with disabilities face today, you might be shocked to know, is that today it's easier to get my wheelchair insured than me insured, because the insurance regulator has certain provisions where persons with disabilities struggle to get insurance. Today, there is a 5% tax on disability aids, because of which is equivalent to somebody, you know, walking, seeing or hearing. And I have a PL actually going on the Supreme Court trying to have this 5% tax removed. A couple of years back, when the Delhi government decided to buy buses that were not accessible, I actually went to the High Court and successfully ensured that the Delhi government eventually bought accessible buses. So these were some of the battles that I have fought in the recent past. I am also working in the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment on the Accessible India campaign, and with Niti Aayog on the various disability committees, helping make sure policies in India are fully inclusive to people with disabilities. In 2016, I also started this campaign called Wheels for Life. Wheels for Life is a social platform through which people who need wheelchairs are connected to people who can donate wheelchairs, and we've impacted close to 2,000 lives through this particular platform. It costs just 5,000 rupees to buy a wheelchair, and we've seen children who've managed going back to school through a wheelchair, adults who've actually started earning livelihood. For example, there is this particular person who actually started a small pawn shop on his wheelchair after we gave him a wheelchair, to elderly people who've actually gone out after years seeing sunrise for the first time in that sense. And this is my most heartening project. In 2020, जब COVID आया था, we also launched this project called Project Delhi, which was a completely volunteer-driven initiative. And one of the reasons why we started it is because we realized that जब भी कोई disaster आता है, persons with disabilities are most left behind. For example, जब दिल्ली पूरा लॉकडाउन में चला गया, दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट was clueless कि groceries and all people with disabilities को कैसे आएंगी. And I just put out a social media post and started a volunteer-driven campaign. And you will all be surprised to know that so many volunteers signed up for this campaign, risking their own lives, that we managed delivering groceries to 2,000 plus people on a daily basis, purely through volunteers, through Project Delhi during the lockdown. I also believe that one should keep learning. So this year I also decided to start attending weekend law classes because I've realized how the power of law and really creating change in that sense. I also love to explore getting into new ventures. I know that reading and books and movies were a great hobby for me when I was growing up and when I was lonely and I did not have friends. So these are some of the other ventures and content creation that I've gotten into. But before I end, I also wanted to focus on what really is disability. You know, disability to a large extent throughout the world was looked at through a charity model. कि person with a disability है, बेचारा है, उसकी मदद कर देते हैं. After that, the focus shifted more to a medical model of disability कि ये एक medical condition है and इसमें इंसान की help करते हैं. But I think it's time today that we look at disability through a social model, where we look at the barriers in society that prevent full inclusion of persons with disabilities. For example, अगर इस stage में आने के लिए एक ramp नहीं होता, मैं इस stage पे नहीं आ पाता और मैं बोल नहीं पाता. Because there's a ramp here, I can come just like anybody else and speak on the stage as anybody else. Or for example, if there's somebody who's deaf, why is the person not able to communicate with anybody else? Because लोगों को इंडियन साइन लैंग्वेज नहीं आती जिसके थ्रू एक डेफ इंसान बात करता है. अगर सबको साइन लैंग्वेज आने लग जाए तो वो भी किसी और के साथ कम्युनिकेट कर पाएगा जैसे हम एक दूसरे के साथ कम्युनिकेट करते हैं. सो द मैसेज दैट आई रियली वांट टू गिव आउट हियर इज दैट लेट्स रिमूव बैरियर्स, लेट्स वर्क ऑन फुल इंक्लूजन ऑफ पर्सन्स विद डिसेबिलिटीज, एंड आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट विल रियली मेक इंडिया एन इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी कंट्री. I believe there are 3 challenges persons with disabilities face, and that's really been the vision of TIP and Foundation so far. The 3 challenges are attitudes, accessibility, and affordability. And I would like to thank the Adani Group here for organizing the GreenX talks to change attitudes throughout the country for people with disabilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nipun. The inspiring journey shared by you stands as a testament to unwavering determination and perseverance, leaving us all truly inspired. Thank you. Now, let's hear it from the true champion, our second speaker, Mr. Ajay Kumar Reddy, captain of Indian blind cricket team. Despite of facing many challenges, including his visual impairment, Mr. Ajay has led Indian cricket team through many victories, securing 3 World Cups and 1 Asia Cup for the country. Please join me to welcome Mr. Ajay, who addresses us and share his story of triumphs against all odds.
First of all, thank you so much giving this great opportunity. Today I'm here to share my life experience, like how I born, what kind of incidents happened in my life, struggles, somebody pulling my legs, like disappointing, different stages, then how I overcome, now what I achieved. I born like normal person with vision. Unfortunately, when I was 4 years old, because of small accident, I lost my vision of my left eye. My parents immediately, they took me to hospital. I gone for surgery, but doctor said there is no scope, get back vision of left eye. They disappointed. Immediately, the reaction in our family, relatives, there is no future of him. Just throw him out. Otherwise, kill him. Better to kill him. Don't keep any hope. Don't waste your time. But my mother, my father, they decided that they are ready to leave relatives. They want to stay with me. They don't want to leave my hand. Never ever. With this issue, they joined me in regular schools. When I was first standard, I used to see like from back bench to like front bench. Teachers, they used to wrote things on board. I can see that letters from back bench. But comes to sixth standard, I'm not able to see that letters. Immediately same thing I told my teacher, I can't see. Then teacher said that just follow with us, stand next to me. You can follow what we are writing, just you can write same thing in notebook. I did that. I told my parents, immediately they took me hospital. Doctor said because of retina issue, is losing another eye also. Is losing vision of another eye also. My parents worry. They are like shock. क्या करने का बच्चा का life? जो थोड़ा बहुत दिखता है वो भी गया तो उसको क्या है हालत? Instead of like एक रेगुलर स्कूल का पीरियड में इतना क्रिटिसाइज किया था साथ जो स्टूडेंट्स नो स्पोर्ट्स में इन्वॉल्व करता है इन केस गया तो अंधा बोल के दे यूज्ड टू टीज बच्चा को ऐसा सेपरेट रखा ऐसा दैट काइंड ऑफ वर्ड्स जस्ट इमेजिन हाउ इट्स गोइंग टू हर्ट यू इन योर पर्सनल लाइफ आई यूज्ड टू क्राई लॉट I used to tell my parents, I don't want to go school. This thing happening to me every day at school. But they said, beta, for your bright future, you should go. Focus on studies. Then, okay, for you I will go. But those days, school days, my dream, I want to become a soldier. For that, I should complete SSC. Without SSC, there is no chance to get job in defense. But कुछ साल के बाद मुझे पता चला था who are struggling with blindness or different physical disabilities, they won't get the chance to serve country joining defense force. I disappointed myself. I cried like anything. Then I said, my parents, I don't want to continue my studies. There is no meaning of this life. But still my parents, they don't want to leave me like that. Relatives से भी negative thoughts आ रहा है. Then मेरा parents एक ही decide किया था, इनको blind school में join करना है. At the same time, we want to shift him there. And family को भी शिफ्ट करना है क्योंकि they want my premises should be changed, my mindset should be changed. हर दिन इसी के बारे में सोच के इसको हालत क्या होगा बोल के then they left farming background. Immediately they shifted from one place to one place. उस समय पे हमारा घर का हालत 3 months they brought some amount फ्रॉम सेविंग्स वो 1 महीने के अंदर ख़त्म हो गया था. देन सेकेंड मंथ से स्टार्टेड फाइनेंशियल इश्यूज लाइक घर चलाने में दिक्कत हो रहा है. पेरेंट्स को पता नहीं हाउ टू रन द फैमिली. दिन में 3 बार जो खाना मिलने का जगह पे 2 बार हो गया, फिर 1 बार हो गया, कभी कभी वो भी नहीं मिलता था. Then my parents, they decide, at least if we join him in blind school, along with hostel facility, then he will get at least to eat 3 times in a day. They joined me in hostel. Hostel जाने के बाद, because of my immature बच्चा है, पापा मम्मी हॉस्टल में ज्वाइन किया है, मुझे ऐसा लगा है पेरेंट्स को भी नहीं चाहिए मैं, दे डोंट वांट मी. जैसा रिलेटिव्स दे यूज्ड टू टॉक अबाउट माई सेल्फ, अंधा क्या कर सकता है, ऐसा सेम पेरेंट्स भी यही सोच के मुझे छोड़ दिए. एक हफ्ता रोया, डिप्रेशन में चले गया, किसी से बात भी नहीं कहता स्कूल में क्लासमेट से. देन एक दिन मेरा लाइफ चेंज हुआ है बिकॉज ऑफ दिस साउंड. पहली बार ये शब्द मैं सुनने के बाद तुरंत मेरा क्लासमेट को पूछा था क्या है दैट साउंड. देन दैट पर्सन टोल्ड दिस द ब्लाइंड क्रिकेट. इसमें भी इंटरनेशनल लेवल होता है, रिसेंटली वर्ल्ड कप हुआ है. ये वर्ल्ड कप पाकिस्तान जीता है. वो बात सुनने के बाद मुझे बहुत बुरा लगा था. इंडिया क्यों नहीं जीत सकता है, वाई इंडिया कांट विन. इंडिया जीतेंगे डेफिनेटली. आई विल पे फॉर कंट्री, आई विल प्ले फॉर कंट्री, आई विल ब्रिंग वर्ल्ड कप फॉर कंट्री. I decided that day without knowing rules and regulations. Then immediately I took permission from my class teacher. I want to go restroom. Class teacher said, okay. I went there. I saw the game. I asked my seniors, I want to play. They refused because I'm new. The ball is too hard. एक हफ्ता हर दिन जाने का, पूछने का, I want to play, I want to play. But they're refusing. Then एक हफ्ता के बाद they allowed me to play. I played like experienced player. They impressed a lot with my game. Then same year I got opportunity to play for my school. Meanwhile, 2 महीने 3 महीने के अंदर मेरे मम्मी पापा they started selling tea. घर का सामने छोटा टेबल लगा के दे स्टार्टिंग सेलिंग टी. उसके बाद इडली डोसा साउथ इंडियन का फूड सेल करना स्टार्ट किया था क्योंकि सराउंडिंग कॉलेजेस है. ऐसे चला है तो एटलीस्ट दे कैन ईट, दे कैन स्टार्ट अर्निंग समथिंग. देन वो लोग मुझे घर लेके गया. आई बिकम डे स्कॉलर. कॉलेज जाओ, स्कूल के जाओ, जस्ट स्पोर्ट्स खेलो, घर का हो, घर में अच्छा खाना खाओ. बट हमारा जो स्कूल का कंडीशन ऐसा है, सैटरडे संडे हमारा स्कूल में बिकॉज ऑफ चर्च एक्टिविटीज़ हमको प्रैक्टिस अलाउ नहीं था. देन मी एंड माई फ्रेंड्स वी डिसाइडेड दैट रात को खेलेंगे, हमको तो विजन का कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है, रात को खेलेंगे. ऐसा बोल के वी स्टार्टेड प्लेइंग नाइट from 10 to 3 o'clock Saturday. Then जाके सो जाने का till 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock उठ के eat something and play. Then evening I will go home. ऐसा प्रैक्टिस किया है क्योंकि I want to achieve something. इतना आसान नहीं है वो इंडिया को खेलना. At the same time, whenever I have time, I used to help my parents because exams का टाइम पे स्टूडेंट्स का क्राउड ज़्यादा आता है. वो टाइम पे आई यूज टू हेल्प देम सर्विंग एंड क्लीनिंग द टी कप्स. इसमें आई लर्न कुकिंग ऑल्सो क्योंकि मेरे मम्मी पापा को टाइम नहीं मिलता है खाना बना के खाने के लिए. जो होटल में बनाते जो बचता है शाम को वो खा के सोना है. कुछ भी नहीं बचा तो दे विल स्लीप एम्प्टी स्टमक. बिकॉज आई डोंट नो, मैं जाके वो लोगों को मम्मी मुझे खाना दे दो बोल के पूछा तो दे विल फीड सेम फूड टू मी. बट आई वॉन्ट टू ईट समथिंग. बिकॉज ऑफ दैट आई लर्न कुकिंग. मैं कुछ बना के मेरे लिए बना के खाना स्टार्ट किया. देन मेरा मम्मी मुझे पूछता है हम लोगों के लिए कुछ बनाओ, ज़्यादा क्वांटिटी बनाओ. देन ऐसा मैं just learn cooking. Because of that, they used to eat food at night. वो नहीं तो empty stomach से सो जाता है. Then comes to my cricket career. 2005, Andhra team selection is going to be happen in Hyderabad. मेरा senior बताया था. उसके लिए हैदराबाद जाना है. पहली बार घर में जाके झूठ बताया. वो टाइम पे मैं टेंथ स्टैंडर्ड में. पापा मुझे बिकॉज ऑफ टेंथ ट्यूशन से, उसके लिए आई शुड बी स्टे एट हॉस्टल. दे सेड ओके. दे नेवर से no comes to studies, comes to cricket, they always, my mummy used to shout like anything, sometimes beating also. क्योंकि इंजरी के साथ घर गया तो वो दिन गया मेरा हालत. क्योंकि बिकॉज ऑफ यू ऑलरेडी स्ट्रगलिंग वन इशू, वो दूसरा नहीं बनना चाहिए. दैट इज प्यार ऑफ फैमिली. वो टाइम पे मुझे पता नहीं है, बट अभी आई एम रियलाइजिंग लॉट. बट फाइनली आई स्टार्टेड माई जर्नी towards selections. That journey is memorable in my life. Like that is like hard and tough situation in my life. From Guntur to Hyderabad, I catch the train. There is no space to stand. दोनों पाम रखने के लिए जगह नहीं है. बट अंदर घुस गया मैं किसी कोशिश करके. There is the only place to stand single leg. ऐसे 7 hours leg shift करके मैं फाइनली मॉर्निंग हैदराबाद रीच हुआ है. रीच होने के बाद मेरा बॉडी का हालत, फुल बॉडी पेन्स, फीवर भी आया. सेलेक्शंस का जगह गया. दे आर आस्किंग आर यू रेडी टू प्ले. यस, आई केम हियर टू प्ले. आई नेवर गिव अप. देन I started playing, I performed well, I selected state. Those days, top players from South only. I saw one player from Karnataka. After seeing his game, I got full confidence. I can play better than him. Entire India, they are talking about that player. He's the best, he's the best. I compared my game with him. I decided if I put more hard work, I can definitely pay for country. Then I started more hard work. Finally, 2006 से 2010 तक प्रैक्टिस संघर्षण करने के बाद मुझे मौका मिला इंडिया को खेलने के लिए. इंटरनेशनल सीरीज खेलने के लिए अच्छा इक्विपमेंट चाहिए. There is no much sponsors those days. मेरे घर में पूछा तो they told they arranged some amount. With that, even though I am not able to buy my shoes, मैंने डिसाइड किया था I will do something. Like I joined daily जो लेबर काम करने के लिए जाके मॉर्निंग टू आफ्टरनून ऑफिस, मॉर्निंग टू आफ्टरनून कॉलेज. उसके बाद एक कोका कोला कंपनी में डेली वेज लेबर दे यूज टू हायर. मैं जाके लोडिंग अनलोडिंग काम करके 1.5 month आई अर्न सम अमाउंट. विद दैट आई परचेस माई ओन बैट. विद दैट बैट आई वेंट इंग्लैंड. In the first match only, I got man of the match, and entire series I was the man of the series. Then 2012 T20 World Cup is happening in India. 2011 में मुझे जॉब आया था. जॉब आने के बाद बिकॉज ऑफ प्रैक्टिस छोड़ा हूँ. Overweight, like within 4 months from 90 to 125 kilos में बढ़ गया था. टूर्नामेंट गया तो मैं चलने में भी नीचे से आवाज है दब 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 दब. Everyone is laughing like anything. With this body, how you can play? Then I said, give me some time, within 4 months. Just after that, you decide whether I'm fit to play or not. I said to my management. 4 महीने में 2 महीने इतना हार्ड वर्क किया था मैंने. सुबह उठना, वर्कआउट्स करना है, लाइट फूड फॉर एनर्जी. उसके बाद ऑफिस वर्क, अगेन कमिंग बैक, स्वेटिंग. देन विद इन 2 months आई केम 95, 97 लाइक दैट. उसके बाद आई सेलेक्टेड फॉर कंट्री एज अ वाइस कैप्टन रोल. in that series, I scored 4 centuries. I was the highest wicket taker in that series. We won the World Cup, beating Pakistan in finals. But still, I am not happy because my dream, those days, मैंने स्कूल में सुना था. That time ODI फॉर्मेट था. ODI फॉर्मेट में इंडिया चैंपियन. अभी लोग बोल रहा था आफ्टर विनिंग वर्ल्ड कप, पाकिस्तान पीपल प्लेयर्स दे यूज्ड टू कम दे सेइंग T20 तो ठीक है, ODI हमारा पास है ना, वी आर द नंबर 1. ठीक है भाई, वेट करो, ODI वर्ल्ड कप तक वेट करो, वी विल शो. I took challenge. Then 2014 ODI World Cup started in South Africa. Very first match only. I don't know my faith. My glutes and a hamstring badly damaged. Then physio saying that you can't play, you can't continue. You need at least 6 weeks rest. बट फाइनल्स के 2 ही हफ्ता टाइम है. मैंने मैनेजमेंट से डिस्कशन किया था, जब तक मेरा रोल एज ए ओपनर बैट्समैन एंड ओपनिंग बॉलर. मैंने ये बोला था, जब टीम का जरूरत है तब मुझे इस्तेमाल कीजिए. सी देयर इज अ चांस टू विन ईजी, नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू गिव माई 100% एफर्ट्स. आई विल बी देयर इन प्लेइंग 11, बट डिपेंडिंग ऑन सिचुएशन मुझे यूज़ कीजिए. आई एम ready to do anything for country. ऐसा ही बोल दिया. Then ऐसा बोल के final we reach. Finals में again pain started. Last 10 overs India required 120 plus runs. मेरा इंजरी का वजह से I am not able to play proper shots. वो टीम का ऊपर भारी पड़ रहा है. Then immediately I send a message, I want to come out. At least someone can play better than me. Because of me, India is going to be lose. I don't want that. They said, okay, Ajay, come out. I went out. One player went inside. Both partnership going well. Unfortunately, we lost wicket. Last 5 overs, India required 60 plus runs. Then I called immediately my coach and physio, I want to go inside. They said, you can't play. You can't play at all. If you went inside, anything can happen for your cricket future. They said, it's okay. I came here to perform. I came here to make country proud. I don't bother about myself. Finally, they accepted. I went inside. Hitting shots, falling down with help of runner, and with help of bat, I am jumping on single leg, I am reaching towards leg umpire. Like the situation, I played 5 overs, 2 ball बचाया, we won the World Cup, ODI World Cup. तब मैंने पूछा था, अभी बोलो, कौन है number 1? There is no voice from Pakistan players. Then after my game, like मेरा management responsibility दिया था, as a captain they promoted. As of now, India won 5 World Cups out of 5, 2 ODI, 3 T20 in out of 5, 3 under my captaincy, and 1 Asia Cup. Out of 5 में 4 against Pakistan. Just imagine, इतना जीतने के बाद क्या हो सकता है प्लेयर्स का हमारा फाइनेंशियल स्टेटस और सोसाइटी में हाउ वी यूज्ड टू टीच, जैसा हम लोगों को रिसीव करता है. जस्ट इमेजिन पीपल अभी 2 साल से ठीक है, थोड़ा रिकग्निशन कर रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ मीडिया में आ रहा है. felicitations from Prime Minister Sir or President of India after winning World Cups. But financially, our players, they are getting per match, international match fee 3,000. Just imagine. We are playing for country only with passion, not for money. We want to prove ourselves how Adani Group, they are recruiting differently abled people, seeing their talent, they are providing platform to show their talent in front of the world. They should stand their own legs, not depending on others. ऐसा ही है सोसाइटी में एक भावना लेके आने के लिए एट द सेम टाइम वी हैव टू प्रूव आवर सेल्फ वी आर डूइंग दिस थिंग फॉर कंट्री. इसके साथ बीइंग ए इंडियन वी शुड मेक प्राउड कंट्री. वी शुड मेक पेरेंट्स हैप्पी. जब मैं बच्चा था, आफ्टर लूजिंग विजन, रिलेटिव्स बोला है किल हिम और थ्रो हिम आउट फ्रॉम हाउस. आफ्टर अचीविंग दिस, आपका बच्चा ने क्या कमाल किया है. देखो इंसान कैसे बदल जाता है डिपेंडिंग ऑन सिचुएशन. मेरा पेरेंट्स, उसका हालत ऐसा था जब उसका फ्यूचर क्या है अभी. नाउ दे आर हैप्पी, दे आर स्टेइंग विथ मी एंड माई ब्रदर. दे आर हैप्पी, दे आर स्पेंडिंग टाइम, क्वालिटी ऑफ टाइम विथ grandkids. We are taking everything. After I got job, I gave a retirement to my parents with big fights. They have a lot of loans. I took responsibility. I will clear. You have to leave everything. Otherwise, I am not going to talk. ऐसा 2 महीने में फैमिली के साथ बात नहीं किया, मम्मी पापा के साथ बात नहीं किया था. They cried like anything. But I want to give rest to them. They should spend relaxed time with us, me and my brother. Now they are happy. I am taking care like anything. They are taking care of my kids and my brother kids also. See why I am telling all these experiences, लाइफ में बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स आता है आपका लाइफ में. बहुत लोग आपको डिसअपॉइंट करता है, आप ये नहीं कर सकता है, वो नहीं कर सकते, आप वेस्ट है, ये फलान टिकान बोलता है. सी forget about all things. Just believe yourself. Give your best. आप नहीं किए तो कौन कर सकता है? हम नहीं तो कौन है? सी अभी आदनी सर कहाँ स्टार्ट किया था? कभी वो रिलैक्स नहीं हुआ. उनके साथ फैमिली है, उसके साथ इतना एम्प्लॉयज है. सी आदनी सर कभी रिलैक्स हुआ तो he can't reach this level. At the same time, family support नहीं किया तो नहीं हो पाएगा. Staff साथ नहीं है तो नहीं हो पाएगा. His vision is clear. His hard work is clear. Same like mine in my sports. जो बोलना है बोलो, मैं जो करना चाहता हूँ करूँगा. ऐसा ही है. Believe yourself. Aim bigger. Give your best. Make impossible possible. That's it. That is the best theme. I believe that you can do anything, but you should not change your mindset. Don't give up in any situation. I am happy whatever I am, what position now in society. At the same time, moreover that I did something for country. I make my parents smile. That is unforgettable moment in my life. Thank you so much once again, giving this great opportunity, sharing my life experience in front of Adani sir family and Adani Group top management. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ajay. You proved that vision isn't confined to what the eyes behold. It's the unwavering belief, leadership, and determination that makes extraordinary triumphs possible. Thank you. Now, moving forward in our discussion on inclusivity, I am honored to invite our esteemed panelists, Dr. Anita Sharma, Ms. Alina Alam, Mr. Bhushan Punani, and Professor Tarun Kumar Vashist, along with Mr. B.S. Rao, who will moderate this panel discussion. Please, all of you, join me to welcome all of them on stage. Together, they are going to dwell into the crucial topic of creating inclusive workplaces. Welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So, it's a privilege to have an elite panel here. Let me introduce Alina. Alina is founder of Mitti Cafe, and Mitti Cafe today employs about 400 plus people and has served about close to 10 plus million meals. And on a young shoulder rests the responsibility of employing all disabled people. And she's the first, probably one of the first in the country to employ about 400 plus and training about 5,000 plus people. So warm welcome to Alina. Let me also welcome Dr. Anita Sharma. I'm glad that on the panel we have women representation. So Dr. Anita Sharma is India's first woman skydiver with a disability. Brave heart. Dr. Anita Sharma had a polio attack which left her paralyzed from waist down, but here she is. She has received her PhD in Disability and Entrepreneurship from IIM Bangalore, IIM Indore, and she's also founder of Drive on My Own Foundation, and also a DEI consultant and YouTuber. Warm welcome to you, Dr. Anita. We also have amongst us Professor Tarun. He's probably the first PhD candidate with visual impairment at IIM Ahmedabad. His study explores organization and positive identities in context of disability and ableness. So, warm welcome to you, Professor Tarun. And we have amongst the elite panel, Dr. Bhushan Punani is the Bhishma. He spent about close to 3 decades, serving those with disabilities. He's the General Secretary for Blind Association. He's an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad. He's considered as a role model for people with disabilities, and also Vice President for International Council for Education of People with Visual Impairment. Warm welcome to you, Doctor. So let me begin with Alina. So Alina, tell us, you started your journey right from your college times. Somebody of your age today would be spending the time away from what you're doing, probably going for adventures, spending time away from maybe education, etc. But you dedicated your life to those who are challenged. What was the thought behind this? What inspired you to get into doing something so rare? So tell us about your journey and what are your thoughts about the initiation of this company called Mitti Cafe.
Thank you so much for your question, and I'm already so inspired to be amongst a panel like this. I was in college waiting for placements, final semester, ki bhai, now I'm going to get onto a job, and God had other plans. So I watched this documentary that changed my life. I meet this guy called Nero. So Nero was an emperor in the ancient Roman Empire, mighty rich. You see, he would win one war after the other, and one day he wins the biggest battle of his life. And when you win, what do? You party. So he decided to throw a party, and he invited the who's who of Tinseltown, kings and queens, princes and princesses from across 7 kingdoms. And as evening befell, Nero said, boss, we need some lights to make the party happening. So he decided to burn waste to generate light. He decided to burn the prisoners of war and the poor people who were captured, who he considered not more than waste. I was around 22 years old then. Sitting in that classroom, what I realized was that the problem is not Nero. You could equate Nero with atrocities, injustice, discrimination, all the not so nice things that are in the world that will exist. The problem, as I could see, was Nero's guests. As to how thousands of them could sing, dance, drink when fellow human beings burned and died. And I realized at that point of time that I was one of Nero's guests. That is, if you feel something about anything and if you're not willing to take action, then you've taken a side. And unfortunately, that side is that of the oppressor. And having been brought up by my own grandmother who had a disability, all that I could see in that stellar woman while growing up was abilities. I decided I wanted to create a model that is visible, but not everybody can see. So tangible, interactive, and the success or the failure of which would depend on you, on the community. And what better than food to connect people to people? So food is a denominator to do two things. One is generate sustainable livelihoods, that is money should reach the accounts of people with disabilities year on year, but more importantly, beyond which, create awareness about inclusion with every meal or beverage served. Our first employee came in crawling for the interview because at that point of time her family could not afford a wheelchair. You would give that girl half a cup of coffee, her hands would shake and it would fall. Today, that same girl sitting on her wheelchair, she manages 10 other people with disabilities. She's the manager for our first cafe, and her name is Kirti. As I talk to you, we have hundreds of Kirtis across the 41 Mitti cafes that we have, managed completely by adults with disabilities. And additionally, to end with, I'd want to add that leaders who have the perseverance, the grit to really bring about a change can turn a social problem, the social cause that we talk about, to reality, if they have the perseverance and the grit. And when I spoke to Paridhi, about what is it that we can do together to really bring about a change, she said, Alina, why aren't you at the airport? Let me connect you to this amazing person, Jeet. She connected me to Jeet, and it was a cakewalk since then. And I remember before we inaugurated at the Mumbai International Airport, somebody told me, Jeet bhai, he'll probably spend 5-10 minutes, and then he'd have to go back. And that 5-10 minutes turned to 3 hours that he spent with our team members with disabilities at our cafe at the Mumbai International Airport. Fast forward, Paridhi visits our cafe with her 3 children, and Diva visits and just makes our day. So, it is leadership like this that really brings about a difference and enables change. So thank you to really, enable that for us at Mitti Cafe.
Thank you, Jeet. Thank you, Paridhi. So, good to know. Alina, you're actually ensuring that everybody's economically independent. And this is, you said about 400 people that we talked about yesterday, and indirectly about 5,000. Yeah, so thank you very much for your thoughts. I'll move on to Dr. Anita. Tell us, I'm a little curious while we're talking on the subject of making workplaces inclusive and accessible. What led you to thinking about skydiving?
Okay, so thank you so much for having me here. I am like a born adventurous person. So the moment I think I was just 6 months old when I contracted polio, and my parents started taking me to different doctors, hospitals, as Nipun mentioned, to different Peer Baba, Hakim, doctor, sab mandir, masjid, sab jagah pe, just to, with this belief that I'll be okay someday. So I was operated, at the age of 8, and started wearing this caliper, side crutches, elbow crutches, and all. Then again, I was operated at Vishakhapatnam. I underwent 18 surgeries and started, on my own feet at the age of 17. So I was crawling before that, no other respite because of these treatments, but I started walking with this caliper and other stuff. So my parents made a point that, they wanted me to be a doctor. So they took me to different coaching centers and other places so that I can study and prepare for the medical entrance exam. But after 1 year of drop, I failed that medical entrance, and my father lost that hope in me that I could do something in my life. So he got me admitted in Maharani's College at the University of Rajasthan. I am from Jaipur, so that is from where I did my graduation. Eventually, I did my master's MBA in HR and IT from Banasthali Vidyapeeth. I got admission over there because my sister was already studying, so my parents thought that 2 sisters can go together. I also needed some assistance. So that's how my education started, and I completed my post-graduation, and I joined Banasthali Vidyapeeth as a faculty again. And for 7 years, so I worked there for 5 years, my MBA and then 5 years job. I was climbing up 5 steps at the entrance like a dog, okay? 4 limbs and two hands and then 2 legs, and then I would put my leg on the next step and then climb. So, and getting down was also in the same challenging situation. So I made a lot of friends while seeing me walking and climbing up the stairs in this way. So people would come and help. But then when so this is one incident which I wanted to share here. And then eventually, when I was working and earning, so I turned 24, 25, I met 35 people for a marriage proposal. Everybody rejected because of my disability. And some of them I also rejected. So that happened, and my mother was like, what will happen after us if you don't find a partner? You need to have somebody in your life. And in this, in this search of a life partner, I actually got distanted from my parents because I was not able to feel that pressure. I was not able to take that pressure anymore. So I decided, like, I'll prove it to myself first, and then I'll prove it to others. So I wrote, without telling it to my parents, I wrote NetJRF. I got in top 3 percentile. I also wrote CAT. I got 98 percentile. I applied to different IIMs. I got calls from IIM Bangalore, IIM Indore, Ahmedabad, and many other places. But the result came first, first result was from IIM Indore, and without giving a thought, I just gave my commitment fees, and my result came from Bangalore and other places as well. Now I regret that why I did not think of IIM Bangalore or IIM Ahmedabad, but Indore played a very significant role, and it changed my entire life. So at the age of 30, I stepped out of my home. I traveled alone in trains, buses, completely inaccessible in 2011. If you remember those times, railway stations, no escalators, no lifts. So if the train station is at the 3rd platform, you have to climb up and go. So I did all those things alone. Today I can't climb this particular step, but I did that because I had that conviction to do. So all these things made me realize that because of these adventures, I should do something. So I went to London for a conference. Because eventually I did my PhD, and PhD allowed me to travel different places, different universities. So I went there, and there was this place, Beccles, near London. And my sister said, let's go. And then I was not sure whether I would be able to do that. But when she pushed me so hard, and I spoke because it's a tandem skydiving, so I asked the person as well, like, can I do it? So he said, why can't? And I just submitted my fees, and then, like, in 7 minutes, it was all done. So I became India's first skydiver with a disability. So, like, all those adventures helped me a lot in making this possible. Thank you.
Dr. Anita, could you tell us, based on your experience, what challenges have you observed in making a workplace inclusive and accessible?
Okay, so I have worked, I'll tell my experience here. I've worked in 3 organizations. So I worked with Banasthali Vidyapeeth, I've worked with Thapa University, Punjab, and I've also worked with IIM Amritsar. So as I mentioned about Banasthali Vidyapeeth, for 7 years I was just climbing up and going down. I was the only student with a disability over there, and I was the only faculty with a disability over there. A lot of people understood disability after seeing me as a locomotive disabled person, and they were more towards inspiration and all those stuff. There was no lift, 3rd floor, I had to climb up, and I also never requested कि मेरे को नीचे ground floor पे कर दो. Because that time I had this gussa in myself कि मैं करके दिखाऊंगी. So every class I would go up 15 minutes before to any class. I would reach and then climb up and come down. So that gussa actually was there in me. And these workplaces, so Banasthali Vidyapeeth, then Thapa University, then I did my PhD from IIM Indore. This gussa actually translated into some actions then. Or when I joined Banasthali Vidyapeeth, and I gave some suggestions to make that 4 or 5 steps, having some, like, I suggested, like, make a ramp or put some hand railing. Nobody listened. But then I had this thing in my mind कि नौकरी करते रहो, पता नहीं ये कब निकाल दे अगर मैंने कोई और बात बोली तो. Because that was a private university. So I did not utter a word after that once they rejected my proposal of having a ramp or handrail. When I went to IIM Indore, First year went really well because I was just going to the PGP classrooms and then to my hostel. Hostel was kind of having ramps on the kind of requirements I have had. It was meeting all. But then in the second year, I started swimming. Okay, the pool, Olympic-sized pool, they've had ramps, but I can't walk without my calipers, so I started wearing those, crutches. So if I have to access the ramp, it is a very long walk to reach the pool, though they had this. So, and then I also started going to other places like auditorium and other places in the campus itself. And this particular campus, then I realized there are so many challenges. So I clicked the photographs and made like an alternative solution कि इसकी जगह पे ये अगर हो जाए तो क्या हो सकता है with my own understanding. I am not an excess auditor qualification wise. So I made a PPT, like I think 12-page PPT, and went to the then director, Professor Ravi Chandran. Okay, very tough hard master and an operational guy. I heard that वो emotions को नहीं समझते हैं. The moment I entered, मैंने सोचा था 2 मिनट बात करके आऊँगी. Exactly 3 hours की हमारी meeting रही कि how can we make it accessible. Pura IIM ka campus is on a hillock. It's a very beautiful campus, but the terrain is not supportive. It's like hills everywhere. So he made it possible that let's do something. I was the student representative, and we constituted a committee. He constituted a committee, and then it was like in no time that was possible. And we were fortunate because that was a transition period. Professor Rishikesh Krishnan joined in, and everybody knows that history. Like Professor Rishikesh Krishnan made IIM Bangalore accessible. He made it accessible at IIM Indore. Made it Indore as well.
Thank you.
So that is one thing. And last part, I would say, I started working because Professor Srivastav is sitting here, and I actually work from ISB Mohali, so there's a co-working space.
Right.
And I was recently contacted by the team of ISB Mohali and Hyderabad that please make our campus accessible, though it is already accessible, but they want 100% inclusion. So these are certain insights I wanted to share.
Lovely, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I'll move to, thank you. Professor Tarun, you are extensively researching on the workplace inclusion, leadership inclusion in your research. Yes. Can you tell us as to what your research findings are? Are the workplaces actually moving towards inclusion and accessibility? Yes. And what are the solutions according to you?
Sure. So first of all, thank you very much for having me here. And as Sir told, that I have been working in this particular field. I'm involved in thorough research. Now, first of all, let's understand one concept, and that is ableism. And ableism is the normative assumptions. Whenever when we design a particular physical facility, say this auditorium, somehow we assume a person who is, physically fit to move around. And whenever a particular person who is not normatively fit that way, is maybe having orthopedically challenge or a cerebral palsy, etc., they face issues. And we say that this particular facility is not accessible. But this particular assumption is just there in physical facilities, but everywhere. Say for that matter, we are having, the top management of Adani plus the founders' family. Whenever we design a job, whenever we discuss or debate a job description, many a times it is also being designed on the basis of normative principles. We don't, how far do we imagine that there could be a person who is, say, visually challenged or physically challenged doing this particular job? So what happens is, this ableism, it is everywhere, and it impacts when a person comes into the organization who is not, within quotes, normal or normative in the abilities. My findings say that there are 5 things that indicate that an organization can be potentially inclusive in the future. 1, support from top management. And I mean, for example, we can see that the whole Adani family plus AVP above people, they are all sitting here. It shows the intent to be inclusive in the future. Now, whenever they would design some job, they would have it in their brains that, okay, there could be some person who could be visually impaired, and let's see how, say, physical imperfection could be replaced by digital imperfection. Okay, so such kind of things. Secondly, immediate supervisor is very, very important. Because, I mean, whenever a person works, he is in consultation with the colleagues and the immediate boss, which is very, very important. But when there is an intent from the top management, it actually percolates down in their values and corporate philosophy, and it percolates into every department, every unit, and ultimately it goes into, the job descriptions. Third is that everybody should be sensitized. And when I say sensitized, it is a very delicate balance between whether we are helpful, but at the same time, are we overprotective? Because if I need help to come here, then there should be someone to help me. But if I don't need help in doing something, then it should be respected that I don't need help in it. Otherwise, everybody would think that my abilities are actually lesser than what actually they are. At the end of the day, if I am valued in the organization, if I am contributing to the organization, if I am contributing, then it all starts from there. People would love to talk to me regarding my job. People would learn from me. People will automatically be sensitized to my needs because I am contributing to the organization. So, I mean, this accessibility is very important. And I mean, diversity is very important, but we'll have to remember that it is two-edged sword, that if we are getting diverse people to the organization, then neutral organization without doing anything is actually a misnomer. There will be conflicts, and we must have some mechanisms, deliberate mechanisms into place so that we could deal with such conflicts and actually make it as an advantage, competitive advantage, because we would be well equipped to deal with diverse and novel customers, which my competitors won't be. So this is a very tough task. But if an organization has to be what it has to be, it has to do it.
Thank you, Professor Tarun. So, in fact, when we were, researching on this subject, we also found, Bhushanji, that diversity framework is something that most organizations have been working on, and there's an organization which has actually come up with a concept called Braille Without Borders, which is for visually impaired. Another organization has come up with something called as Vendor Diversity Program. They make sure they engage vendors who have employees with disabilities. Yet another organization has got a policy which is called Equal Employment Opportunity. And they have reasonable accommodations and disability etiquette training. Now, you are a Bhishma in this space, right? And therefore, I'm coming to you the last. Could you tell us what has been your best experiences or the experiences otherwise in terms of providing an ecosystem comprising of transport, or otherwise in terms of communication, or otherwise in terms of the built environment? And can you share your experiences? You also advise to several companies. What are the best practices by the organizations within India and outside? Because you've seen the other side of the fence as well. So can you share with us the good practices and the policies as well? Yeah.
Sure. It's okay.
First of all, good afternoon, everybody. It's a great privilege standing before you. I'd just like to show you a small picture. Can you start? Actually, I must congratulate the whole Adani family and all of you. What initiative you're taking is phenomenal. You don't realize कि what beautiful thing your company has started doing. In fact, I'd like you to see this photograph very carefully. The girl on the screen is, can you go back? This is, if you have a mobile with you, just type one word in the Google search, deaf-blind physiotherapist. If you do that, there'll be only one answer, Dr. Shruti Lata Singh. She's the only and only deaf-blind physiotherapist in this universe. Now, something very important. The credit for this achievement, to some extent, goes to Adani family also. A few years before, I happened to meet Dr. Preeti Ben. I hope she remembers. In a few minutes of talk, when I told her that we have a college of physiotherapy, that's the only one of the two colleges in the whole country, 15 years before, she gave a contribution of 25 lakhs to run this college. One more secret from where this whole system is coming. I'm very, very happy to mention that Preeti Ben, when she was a school student, maybe in 4th or 5th standard, she came as a volunteer of our organization and to lay the bricks of the first building of our campus. When I told her that I had the institution that time as an executive director, he says, Bhushan bhai, you're junior to me. I'm in the foundation of your institute, and now you are managing it. That's the beauty of the group. How many of you saw yesterday the speech by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, the victory speech? You must have heard the speech. How many have heard the speech? Even in that speech, sir, he mentioned Divyangjan. The Prime Minister of this country, reasons are unknown, is so fond of disability. Anywhere, everywhere, maybe India, abroad, USA, or speech in the parliament, he brings in disability as a context. And one word he has understood, which I want you to understand, sir, which is the buzzword, is inclusive development. He has been telling always that if we have to give status to the people with disabilities, what you saw Nipun Bhai, what you saw Ajay Bhai, what you see this panel, we have to go for inclusive development. And what is the dream of Honorable Prime Minister? I'm very happy to mention here, Adani Corporate has already picked up as a challenge. It's a matter of great honor that what our country, what our nation, what our parliament, what our Prime Minister is desiring has started happening in this family, in this company, and I salute to you for that initiative. Sir, your company is a trendsetter. What you do is watched by the whole world. And once you go for inclusive development, I'm sure Jeet Bhai is very passionate about the whole concept. And I'm sure what you start will become, you see on the screen, will become a trendsetter for others. Honorable Prime Minister is honoring a young girl, Bhavina. Sir, this is what is called inclusive development. She's a wheelchair person. First time from our country, a girl in the wheelchair wins the silver medal in Japan Paralympic. This is the first time that Paralympic brought a silver medal in table tennis, and I'm very happy she's from our institute, and she got cash award of 7 crores of rupees from different sources. And she has been promoted as Assistant Director of ESIS. Next, I mean, you'll see the change, the inclusion in sports, inclusion in education has become the buzzword. When I come back, when the next question, I'll tell you what is the law on that. You asked me a question, what's your experience? As Blind People's Association, we are not working only for the blind, we have got all disabilities in a very large way. And we covered 500,000 people with disabilities across the country, even in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and part of Africa. And we realize that we can be inclusive ourselves, but the world cannot be inclusive unless we have the appropriate laws, appropriate guidelines, appropriate policies. Our country can function better if there is a standard law, if there is a national legislation which ensures inclusion and development. I am very happy to say our country has adopted the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016, which is probably one of the most advanced legislation on disabilities in the world today. We are a very comprehensive law, and that law desires that every place, every public place must be inclusive. It's a statute. And what is the statute for the public sector is very heartening note that Adani Group of companies have started adopting that for the private sector. This is a matter of great credit. Unless we make ourselves, our own people inclusive, things cannot move. I'd like to ask a question. How many people have been to Blind People's Association so far? Thank you, sir. Thanks for sending all your HR team from across the whole country. They saw vision in the dark. They saw ITI. They saw technology. That's where we are focusing. Unless we make the minds of people inclusive, unless we change the attitude, unless we change the thinking. So my experience is, sir, that what we have to do is bring inclusion as a thought process, to bring inclusion and development as a challenge, as a corporate challenge. I'll come back in the next question that how Adani can do. See that on the screen, Vishnu. He is the world player in table tennis and football for the blind. First time that we have a world player from this city, from this state, from this institute, who's playing around the globe, football for the blind. That's a new game, and he is going to be one day hero of this country. And the good part is the law ensures now that if you won an international game, a recognized game, you get the cash award, anything from 25 lakhs to 3 crores, equivalent to other players. And you also get a job in the government system or corporate system. So these are the things which are making the whole system very inclusive. And my experience was, unless we bring the policies, the laws, the regulation, unless we motivate the people, the key people, the who matter to the world, things cannot change. And thanks to Adani Group for making a very positive beginning, for sensitizing, motivating, encouraging, enabling the whole team to become inclusive. And the biggest example is Vaishali. I must congratulate all of you for giving chance to Vaishali, our great hope, and she is going to be a leader in the field. Adani giving a platform to Vaishali matters a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhushanji. So, thank you. Alina, I just want to come back to you, the concluding note. Can you share with us a couple of stories of employees at Miti Cafe and how they transformed the workplace? How do you make sure the workplace is very inclusive? Because cafe is a different concept than a corporate entity.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
So see, we've all faced lockdowns. If we are in the house, there's so much of tension. If we go out of the house, there is tension. Loss of jobs, loss of opportunities. Imagine persons with disabilities are kept in a lockdown for an entire lifetime because of the disability in our perceptions. That stops us from seeing the magic in their ability. Sabiha, she's got multiple sclerosis. So it's a severe disability where you have no control over your hands or your legs. You must be wondering what use is a Sabiha to a Mitti Cafe? Kirti can move her hands. It's okay, she's in a wheelchair, but Sabiha, what use is she to us? So we tried to put her in the kitchen. It was a flop. It didn't work out. Then we realized this girl has got the gift of the gab. You know what that means? If you come in for a 10 rupees chai, she will talk you out of a 50 rupees combo meal. That is her talent. And this girl doesn't work with Mitti Cafe anymore. Now she's an entrepreneur. She started her own kirana shop, deployed a person with Down syndrome, and she's one of our vendors. And not just that, when COVID happened, we were all thinking about survival. When we talk about persons with intellectual disabilities, not all disabilities are visible, right? There are hidden disabilities as well. One of our employees, Hemant, he's got cerebral palsy and autism. He comes to us. And just imagine his vision. दीदी, लोग भूखे हैं, people are hungry, and हमें खाना बनाना आता है. And just imagine this boy's vision. He says, अगर हम खाना बनाएंगे, कोई भूखा नहीं रहेगा. We were talking hundreds, millions, a crore meals. This boy says nobody will stay hungry. We started with a few hundred meals. And today our team members with disabilities have served over 6 million meals to the economically vulnerable. And this is the power of inclusion. Every person with disability has dreams. Whether it is Lakshmi, single mother of 2 children, only earning member of her family, she can't hear or speak. Caroline, you've met her, Jeet. You've met her, Pariti. Disability rights activist for 15 years, yet her first job. And all their dreams deserve recognition. Economic independence and dignity is not, it should not be something that is imaginative. That should not be a privilege. It is every individual's right. And the power and the magic is in each one of you to really make it possible. And like, Sir said, would want to congratulate the Adani Group for really, setting the ball rolling. The fact that, there are so many stories of inclusion that we've been able to create and that you all intend to create, a big salute to you all. And, all of us would be privileged to join you in your movement of inclusion.
Thank you, Alina. Thank you very much. So I would just want each of you, beginning with Dr. Anita, a few concluding notes, maybe about 30 seconds each, as to how we can make workplaces very inclusive and accessible.
Okay, so it's all about mindset change. Infrastructure is still possible with money, but mindset change requires a lot of time. So multiple sensitization trainings are required. There is a language around disability, so we all need to learn this language. So every time we use specially abled, differently abled, other stuff, but then what is the right word? We never question, we never ask. So who is going to tell? So we people are there to support, so we are going to tell that language, and I think that's all about mindset change. It will happen, and with the support of, people follow all big corporates. So if big corporates are doing it, the entire organization, all other organizations are going to follow. So you're the leaders. Thank you, Adani Group, for having this initiative towards people with disabilities. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you. Professor Tarun, I'd just like you to take another 30 seconds to a minute to talk about 3 things that we spoke about yesterday, which is about workplace inclusion, work group inclusion, and leader inclusion. Can you throw some light on this in about maybe, a minute or 2?
Yes, of course. So, workplace inclusion, when we say we want to look at the perception of a particular person, how he or she perceives, or whether he or she perceives whether the workplace is inclusive or not. Let me make it very simple. If a workplace is inclusive, I can be, or I can behave in a way I actually or normally do. For example, there is a person who is, whenever we talk about disability, we talk about severe disabilities, but there are so many people around us who are disabled, but they actually fear to disclose their disability, because once they are disabled, they are disabled. So what happens is, if I may go to my organization and say, sir, I am disabled in this particular way, I am perfectly, productive, but then I would need 10 minutes break every hour. And organization says, okay, every person is different in different ways. So let's coin this particular system wherein you will be given this particular, say 10 minutes break, and you would be working maybe extra in the evening or whatever, maybe. This will be one of the indications that the organization is open enough for the people to have tailor-made solutions. Now, there are 3 constructs. Second is work group inclusion. Work group inclusion is that if I'm there in a particular team, I'm working in a team, whether my teammates respect me for who I am. And let me tell you, we talk about achievements, but in daily life, they would respect me when I am valued and I am contributing to the team. If I am an obligation for her because of me, her work pressure is increasing, that she won't be able to respect me and show the sensitization. So easily, do we have systems wherein my abilities could be considered while actually framing the job descriptions? Am I valued? Then they would say, oh my God, Tarun does really well. And then they would talk about it in different teams, and people will come to me and they would value me, and every sensitization, this wheel, virtuous wheel would actually start rolling on. Third is, this all cannot be done without the top management, and here comes the role of top leadership, wherein, I mean, whenever they come here for a speech and they say, we recognize that there are different people. In fact, out of us all who are not even considered as disabled, they have their own ways of maybe processing, information. Some would like to hear it, some would like to read it, some would like to see it, some would like to touch and feel it. So this is just a threshold wherein if we get beyond the threshold, we are called disabled. Otherwise, we are similar in many ways. So the balance which I was talking about, an inclusive place, yes, takes care of the difference. They respect them, provide them with reasonable accommodations. But on the other hand, they recognize that we are all same. We also gossip. We also have girlfriends and boyfriends. We are normal human beings, and let's just enjoy. At the workplace. This is actually called the inclusive workplace, much beyond just physical accessibility, but the accessibility of mindsets and accessibility of digital world also. So this we can start with, and I can guarantee that this workplace will be very much inclusive for everybody. And I tell you, if the workplace is inclusive, you pay me even, I may get a better pay master, but I would think 100 times before switching this particular job, because I know that I am getting that particular, work-life balance, which I would get nowhere. So in a way, I would understand the systems, I would remain here for 20 years, and it would actually be a competitive advantage for you in the long run. So this is how it is.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you very much. Bhushanji, and then I come back to Alina last, yeah? Bhushanji, what are your concluding thoughts on making workplaces very accessible and inclusive? Because it's very important, because it's a journey for us. We just begun. So could you throw some light maybe in a minute or two?
As Adani Group has already made the beginning, I'd like to give a challenge to the whole group. We have a law in this country, Rights of Persons with Disability Act. There are sections which will come on the screen which mandate accessibility in built environment, all the buildings, everything. It mandates accessibility in communication, sign language, braille, audio, or other modes of communication. Then it brings accessibility in the understanding of the people, and also accessibility in any aspect you do for employment and everything. This is law, but this is applicable mostly to the government system. But still in our country, we can make laws for the government system. But I'm very glad what is law for the government system is being followed, respected, promoted by your group, which is a matter of big credit. We should clap for you for doing something which is beyond the call of your duty. Now, sir, we have section 21, 22, which mandates every corporate. Before I say that, I share the example of America. In America, we have equal employment policy. There's a mandate for every company which is incorporated in America. They may be working anywhere, any part of the world. They have to employ people with different backgrounds who are marginalized, who are, sorry, can you go to the second, the PowerPoint? Not this one, the second one. Thank you. They have to employ people with disabilities as a part of that policy. You'll be surprised. Ford Motors, KFC, and many other multinational companies which operate from America have started employing people with disabilities, have started modifying their environment, have started incorporating technology into their systems so that people with disabilities and other groups are eligible to function like anybody else. Now, to counter to that, I was member of the law drafting committee which drafted law for the country. We insisted, no, we have to bring the corporate in some way into the whole mandate of accessibility. I am very happy that our government, our country has adopted the law. In that law, Section 21 devotes to equal opportunity policy. It is a mandate that every corporate must evolve, implement, and project a policy in the company, in the corporate, which gives the chance of, there's a PowerPoint, second one. There's a chance of giving opportunity to people with different needs. Now, your company has already made the beginning. Now, the right thing would be developing an appropriate policy, a two-page policy, what you are doing, putting into the form of a written document and uploading on the website, and which you already started doing, implementing it. Sir, madam, all of you, if you do that, which is of course a mandate of the law, but law does not happen unless you accept it and implement it, and if you do that, you will be setting trend for the whole country. You will be the trendsetter as a large conglomerate adopting that policy. Some companies have done. I sit on the board of Vahabakriti, they have done. Harsh Engineers have done. A couple of companies have done. So my request is that with having Shri Gautam Bhai, Preeti Bain, Jeet Bhai in the audience, I'm sure we can have the privilege of requesting them, which I'm sure will come true, to develop a very comprehensive, equal opportunity policy, which is not different than what you started doing. What you're doing today, bringing our heroes and listening to them, is part of the policy. Having a function for all your vice presidents is part of the policy. If you can do documentation on that and publish that, I think that will be the right thing, and that will be something which will be the most effective outcome of Green Talks, and that will be the most effective outcome of Persons with Disabilities, the World Disability Day, which you are celebrating, and I trust that that will be happening. Now, just to conclude, the first step for implementing anything is sensitize the people, which you have started doing. Second step is to share information, which I'm sure they'll come through. Third step is to see that whole environment is enabling positive, is part of the culture, which I'm sure Adani Group is known for that. And the last part is sharing technology, information, and making our website, our information system, our software accessible, which is a question of time. Now there are software available which can make our whole system accessible, which is not difficult for your group. If you can do these 5 things, I'm sure, sir, what we are discussing and what we are debating, that will be the real positive outcome of this event if that happens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhushanji. Thank you very much. Alina, over to you for your final thoughts.
Yes. Can you just, I feel I should make all of you all very happy today. Can you all play the slides? And, while the slides are played, so when Bhairappa came in, Bhairappa's got dwarfism. Next slide. Bhairappa has dwarfism, motor disability, and mild intellectual disability. So when he came in, he was rejected at 80 plus jobs, which is post that we got lucky. I remember he came in barefoot. He did not know the concept of brushing his teeth. Today, the same boy, he is our team lead at our cafe at the Mumbai International Airport. And when persons with disabilities come in for the world to see their abilities, that comes at a later stage. For us, it is a larger challenge to show them the mirror to their abilities after years of bullying, after years of rejections, after years of being told that they're not good enough. Bhairappa has been one such case. He was told that because of his disability, he will never find a job. Now, this guy has found a job, very nice. He was also told that because of his disability, he will never find anyone to love him. Next slide. Ye to you should see. Next slide. And I'll end with that picture that you all will see. Next. Actually, you can go back to the previous slide. The two people that you see with Jeet Bhai. So Bhairappa found the love of his life at Mitti Cafe Rupa. And we've had 18 marriages at Mitti Cafe so far. And compassion and courage are two weapons that can eradicate any problem that our world faces today. And as one of my favorite poets says, that मेरे सीने में नहीं तो तेरे सीने में सही हो कहीं भी आग लेकिन आग जलनी चाहिए. We'll all die someday. But irrespective of whether we live or die today, remember each of y'all have got the power to bring about that one change, inspire just that one more person. To bring the stories of Kirti, Bhairappa, Sabiha, Rupa to life. Don't lose that opportunity. Don't lose that belief in yourself. And the world will change for what it should be.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Anita, Professor Tarun, Alina, and Bhushanji for sharing your thoughts. I'm sure we made a humble beginning. We will make sure that whatever you recommended to us is included in our policies and ecosystem. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Thank you to the wonderful audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all the panelists for their incredible contribution. Their insightful perspective has enriched the discussion, making it remarkable and a thought-provoking experience for all of us. Now, moving forward into the theme of inclusivity, we'll present a video showcasing power and beauty of inclusiveness at Adani Group. Please have a look.
I found my calling here. I found my family here. Where what's on the surface doesn't matter, but only true intentions grow and foster. Where each and every corner welcomes you with open arms. Where spaces let you breathe free and increases focus on tasks. Where you're not questioned for being you. Where you are motivated to challenges anew. Where you're not challenged for your shortcomings. Where you're only directed towards new beginnings. Where spaces are carefully crafted, keeping everyone in mind. Where equality and accessibility get thoroughly personified. A part of this giant family, where dreams do come true. Proud of spreading growth with goodness at Adani. Embracing diversity, fostering success.
Now, it's time to immerse ourselves into exceptional talent of Miss Ankita Patel. She is a visually impaired singer with a very soulful voice. Please join me in welcoming Miss Ankita.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone.
बोली रे पपी हरा पपीहरा बोले रे पपीहरा पपीहरा नित घन बरसे नित मन प्यासा नित मन प्यासा नित मन तरसे बोले रे पपीहरा बोले रे पपीहरा पपीहरा बोले रे पपीहरा पलकों में एक बूंद सजाए पलकों में एक बूंद सजाए बैठी हूँ सावन ले जाए चाय पी के देश में बरसे नित मन प्यासा नित मन तरसे बोले रे पपीहरा बोले रे पपीहरा पपीहरा बोले रे पपीहरा सावन जो संदेशा लाए सावन जो संदेशा लाए मेरी आँख से मोती पाए मेरी आँख से मोती पाए दान मिले बाबुल के घर से दान मिले बाबुल के घर से नित मन प्यासा नित मन तरसे बोले रे पपीहरा बोले रे पपीहरा पपीहरा बोले रे पपीहरा थैंक यू
ये आप सबको भी आता ही है और ये आप सभी को गाना है मेरे साथ।
चुरा लिया है तुमने जो दिल को नजर नहीं चुराना सनम बदल के मेरी तुम जिंदगानी कहीं बदल न जाना सनम हाँ ले लिया दिल ओ है मेरा दिल हाय दिल लेकर मुझको ना बहलाना चुरा लिया है तुमने जो दिल को नजर नहीं चुराना सनम बदल के मेरी तुम जिंदगानी कहीं बदल ना जाना सनम चुरा लिया है तुमने जो दिल को, नजर नहीं चुराना सनम, बदल के मेरी तुम जिंदगानी, कहीं बदल ना जाना सनम। हो सजाऊंगा लुट कर भी तेरे बदन की डाली को, लहू जिगर का दूंगा हंसी लबों की लाली को। सजाऊंगा लुट कर भी तेरे बदन की डाली को, लहू जिगर का दूंगा हंसी लबों की लाली को। है वफा क्या इस जहां में, आज ये दिखला दूंगा मैं दीवाना। चुरा लिया है तुमने जो दिल को, नजर नहीं चुराना सनम, बदल के मेरी तुम जिंदगानी, कहीं बदल ना जाना सनम। हो अकेले मेरे अरमां तड़प तड़प के क्यों रोते, मेरे भी दिन क्या होते जो तुम मेरे लिए होते। अकेले मेरे अरमां तड़प तड़प के क्यों रोते, मेरे भी दिन क्या होते जो तुम मेरे लिए होते। तुम मेरे हो, हाँ तुम मेरे हो, आज तुम इतना वादा करके जाना। चुरा लिया है तुमने जो दिल को, नजर नहीं चुराना सनम, बदल के मेरी तुम जिंदगानी, कहीं बदल ना जाना सनम। थैंक यू।
अगला गाना डॉन फिल्म से है, कोई बताएगा मुझे कौन सा? यस
धीरररा धीरररा लल्लल्ला, ये मेरा दिल प्यार का दीवाना, दीवाना दीवाना प्यार का परवाना। आता है मुझको प्यार में जल जाना, मुश्किल है प्यार तेरा बच के जाना। ये मेरा दिल प्यार का दीवाना, दीवाना दीवाना प्यार का परवाना। से दिल में एक तूफान है, आने को है वो मंजिल जिसका मुझे अरमां है, जाने के बदल में जान लूं नजराना। ये मेरा दिल प्यार का दीवाना, दीवाना दीवाना प्यार का परवाना। आता है मुझको प्यार में जल जाना, मुश्किल है प्यार तेरा बच के जाना। ये मेरा दिल प्यार का दीवाना, दीवाना दीवाना प्यार का परवाना। थैंक यू। नहीं 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 ये बातें है पुरानी, कैसी पहेली है ये, कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी। थामा हाँ रोका इसको किसने, हाँ ये तो बहता पानी। कैसी पहेली है ये, कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी। ला 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 ला, जू 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 जू, पीले इसे इसमें नशा, जिसने पिया वो गम में भी हंसा। पल में हंसाए और पल में रुलाए ये कहानी। कैसी पहेली है ये, कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी। थामा हाँ रोका इसका किसने, हाँ ये तो बहता पानी। कैसी पहेली है ये, कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी। ला 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 ला, जू 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 जू, आँखों में घर सपना नया, आंसू तेरा एक मोती है बना। सोनी डगर पे जैसे सोनी है रात ये सुहानी। कैसी पहेली है ये, कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी। थामा हाँ रोका इसको किसने, हाँ ये तो बहता पानी। कैसी पहेली है ये, कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी।
कैसी पहेली है ये,
पहेली है ये कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी.
Thank you.
It was an extraordinary performance, isn't it? Thank you, Ankita. Now, continuing our celebration, let me please invite Ms. Manisha Rupani, who will deliver vote of thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, I extend heartfelt gratitude to all who graced GreenX event 2023 around the accessibility and inclusivity at workplace. Today, we were honored to witness the remarkable contributions and insights shared by our distinguished speakers, artists, and panelists who illuminated the stage with their experiences and talents. To our esteemed speakers, Mr. Ajay Kumar Reddy and Mr. Nipun Malhotra, who graciously shared their stories, perspectives, and expertise, your courage and wisdom have resonated deeply with us, challenging stereotypes and paving the way of more inclusive world. The performances by our talented singer, Ms. Ankita Patel, and the invocation dance by Ms. Rashmi Patil were not just captivating, but served as a touching reminder of the boundless talent and creativity within the persons with disability. Our today's speakers and performances have indeed demonstrated that they can make the impossible possible. The illuminating panel discussion on inclusiveness and accessibility at workplace was enlightening and thought-provoking. The diverse perspectives shared by our panelists have certainly laid the groundwork of actionable steps towards fostering a more inclusive work environment. A heartfelt acknowledgement goes out to our dedicated team of volunteers whose unwavering commitment and tireless efforts ensured the seamless execution of this event. Your dedication and enthusiasm have been cornerstone of the success. Last but not the least, we extend our sincere gratitude and appreciation to the management team, especially for the support, guidance, and vision made this event possible. Your commitment for fostering inclusivity and accessibility is truly commendable. Thank you once again to everyone who contributed to the success of this event, spreading growth with goodness through inclusiveness and accessibility. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we come to end of this remarkable event, let me express my deepest gratitude to each of the speakers, performers, and each one of you for being part of this memorable day. As we conclude, let me re-emphasize that disability is just a matter of perspective and it's not an inability. Thank you and keep continuing advocating for empowerment and inclusiveness in our communities. Goodbye all and see you all next year. Thank you.